Mismong mga Chino'y nagulat nang biglang gustong ipakulong ang China sa Pilipinas. Base sa balitang kumakalat, nagbanta ang PCG sa Chinang ipapakulong pag inabutan ng mga Chinese dito dapat. Matapos lumabas kasi bali-balita, mayroong kampi doon. Sinasabing mga Chinese pa dito ang tama. Ayon kay Tariela, 70% ng mga Pilipino ay naniniwalang tama si BBM palayasin na dito ang China. Pero meron pa ring 30% na Pilipino ay naniniwala doon. Talagang nagpapaka-loyalist, gustong ipakulong ang mga pro-China.
As a matter of fact, more than 70% nga ng Filipino, based on the recent survey, supports the approach of President Bongbong Marcos in exposing Chinese aggression to the West Philippine Sea. The same thing with the international community, no? More countries now are becoming more vocal and supportive to the modernization of the armed forces of the Philippines and even the Philippine Coast Guard. So sabing West Philippine Sea, ito lang nakapagkaisa sa mga Pilipino. Regardless of who you supported sa mga nakaraang eleksyon, itong issue na to, napag-iisa natin lahat ng mga Pilipino.
Yes,
Dahil ang laban natin sa West Philippines, hindi ko laban ng administrasyon na to. Laban to ng lahat ng Pilipino. The approach now of China to counter the transparency strategy of the Philippine government, particularly the National Task Force West Philippine Sea, is to carry out information operation, to have more trolls, to have more pro-China mouthpieces, para magkaroon ng maling informasyon ng mga Pilipino and for them to divide our country and not to be united in going against China.
Pero sa press kong inalabas ni Senator Francis Tolentino, dapat kasuhan na itong China dahil talagang nakaka-alarma na sila dito. Dahil kung yung dati corals lang pinapatay nila, baka susunod malason naman nila tayo.
Nakaka-alarma na tong 21,000 acres of coral reefs din na sinira, pero itong cyanide, use of cyanide, mas mabigat po ito. I now consider this as environmental terrorism. Libu-libong hektarya din yon, di ba? Tunayan na yung damage sa coral reefs natin ay ganun ka-substantial, magbabayad kung sino man ang may kagagawa nito.
Pagbabanta pa ni Tolentino, formal niya na itong idinideklara, itong pakikipagtalastasan niya kay Cayetano, itong batas na magpapalayas talaga sa WPS ng mga Chino. Kaya minamadali na ng Senadong pag-aproba para mapalayas ng China dito.
Kahit ano po ang mangyari ngayon sa Baho de Masinloc, kahit ano po ang mangyari ngayon sa karagatan ng West Philippine Sea, kahit ano po ang mangyari ngayon sa Benham Rise, Mr. President, nakatatak na po sa kasaysayan ang Philippine Maritime Zones Law na magiging bantayog ng ating kalayaan.
Would be our position vis-a-vis the Benham Rise, Mr. President, na hindi nabanggit po, Mr. President, kahit doon sa Treaty of Paris. Wala po ito sa arbitral ruling, wala po ito sa agam-agam natin noon, kahit po nung pinag-uusapan yung jurisdiction ng Pilipinas. Pero dito po sa Benham Rise, makikita natin, Mr. President, na talagang hindi lang natin to inaangkin. Talagang sinisigurado po natin ito ay atin dahil magkakaroon po ng prolongation ng continental shelf, itong portion pong ito, from Catanduanes to Isabela, na hindi masyadong napapansin, Mr. President. In fact, dito sa ating panukala, ay pinangalanan pa natin ito. Bagamat ito ay napangalanan na noon ng Benham Rise na tinanggap ng United Nations, ang ating pag-aari po dito, pinangalanan din po ito through an executive order as a Philippine Rise, yung isang portion. Sa batas po ito, pinangalanan pa rin natin sa ngayon po sa suggestion ng mga eksperto na magaling sa lingwahe na talampas ng Pilipinas. So ito pong nandito sa kanan, bahagi ay isang karagdagan na hindi pag-aangkin, isang karagdagang pagpapakita na talagang atin ito, at ito po meron ng recognition ng United Nations, at pag napasa po itong batas na ito at isasubmit pa natin sa United Nations, double imprimatur na po ito, Mr. President. Bininyagan na, kinumpilan pa na atin talaga yon, Mr. President. And if I may add, Mr. President, to add to the narrative a while ago, ang Amerika po, bagamat hindi sila bahagi ng UNCLOS, noong 1994 po, pumirma po si President Bill Clinton doon sa UNCLOS. Subalit, hindi po ito na naratipikahan ng US Senate Subalit, napakarami pong bahagi ng UNCLOS, halos lahat, na lalong-lalo na yung mga principles, general principles of UNCLOS, were already accepted by the White House, even before the adoption of the third law of the sea. If I'm not mistaken, it's either President Truman or President Roosevelt, either Roosevelt I or Roosevelt II, na inangkin din nila at inilala yung karapatan ng ibang bansa, lalo dun sa Gulf of Mexico at maging sa Atlantic Ocean, kung hanggang saan yung bahagda ng kanilang karapatang mangisda. So, Mr. President, just to answer the question again, wala pa ho akong ekspertong nagbigay ng agam-agam na baka humina yung posisyon natin. Subalit in practical terms, Mr. President, this measure will set clear the parameters for administrative agencies similar to NAMRIA, which was mentioned by Senator Cayetano a while ago, and to include others, Coast Guard, BIFAR, to perform their functions in the field for securing our maritime domain, as well as, perhaps, Mr. President, it will ensure that our country will assert and exercise our rights, not just with hanggang dito sa 200 nautical miles, but it will lay the basis for yung napag-usapan namin sa debate no ni Senator Pimentel, yung extended continental shelf beyond 200 nautical miles. Baka madagdagan pa tayo. Kasi yung prolongation, yung biglang hulog, pinagbibigyan po tayo ng UNCLOS na i-extend pa. So magkakaroon tayo ng, because of this, magkakaroon tayo ng extended continental shelf na mapapadagdag pa, Mr. President.
Yeah. Sir President, two short comments then one question. Don't get me wrong, pare-pareho po tayong naninindigan to strengthen our claim. US is a big brother, is an ally, is someone we should be able to lean on at all times, is an ally sa international community pagdating dito sa South China Sea. But iba interest nila sa interest natin. So we're saying that atin yan, they're saying hindi sa China yan. Magkaiba yon, no? So we're saying amin yan. So yung certain features dyan, hindi yan China, hindi yan Vietnam, hindi yan Malaysia. Ang sinasabi ng US, hindi sa kanila yan. So ano yung practical effect? For example, lahat ng features na nasa loob ng EEZ natin, nasa loob ng EEZ natin, meron ng military establishment ang China, Vietnam at saka Malaysia. Sa pagkaalam ko, pag nagtayo ka ng military establishment sa loob ng territory, halimbawa ng ibang country, normal naman yon sa Mutual Defense Treaty na magti-trigger na dapat yon. But it does not trigger because precisely the US does not recognize yung sa UNCLOS. Style nila yun napipirma ang presidente tapos hindi i-approve ng Senate. Di ba? Alam naman natin na leader din ang US sa human rights. Am I pronouncing it right? Yung Nuremberg trials. Isa sila dun sa talagang driving force na yung Hague, di ba? Yung International Criminal Court. Pero hindi sila nag-ratify. So hindi sila membro. So hindi mo pwedeng arrestuhin ang mga military nila. No? I mean, Superpowers Act, I'm not judging, I'm just stating a fact. No? So that's my first point. Kasi in passing this law, hindi pa rin i-recognize ng US yung sinasabi nating atin na talaga dito. Ang sasabihin lang nila, hindi sa China yan. Okay. Second point that I want to make, Mr. President, is that that's the problem when yung sa international law is up to interpretation. So when President Obama went to Japan and the Philippines, napansin talaga ng media, sinabi niya sa Japan, na kapag kayong Senkaku Islands o yung islands na may dispute, gumawa ng masama ang China or mag-invade or pumasok, automatic yung Section 5 ng MDT ng Japan at saka ng US. Pero sa Pilipinas, explicitly sinabi ni President Obama, hindi automatic. Hindi automatic, di ba? Yan ay later on clarify ni President Trump at ni President Biden, and at least for this next election, it's either President Biden or President Trump so far. But 4 years after their next election, we're not sure if the next US President will say that that is part of the Mutual Defense Treaty or not. But that's another matter, Mr. President. I agree that the renegotiation of a decades-old Mutual Defense Treaty in a world that is so different from after World War II has to be taken a second look at, di ba? But ang point ko, hindi treaty ally ng US ang Vietnam, hindi treaty ally ng US ang Malaysia, pero makikita mo, it's to their interest na maging kaibigan nila lahat ng claimants against China. it's to our interest sana na ang big brothers natin internationally, yung claim natin. Kasi EEZ na natin yan eh. Wala sa labas ng EEZ natin itong mga ginawa ng Malaysia, Vietnam, at saka ng China. Nasa loob ng EEZ natin. So this is my last point that we'll just try to clarify. So are we saying now that anything that was considered territorial waters under the Treaty of Paris will not be downgraded with this law now? So kung dati ito yung drawing around the country at lahat yan ay territorial waters, ngayon ba liliit ang territorial waters natin o hanggang doon pa rin sa linya ng Treaty of Paris? Ang desisyon ni President Duterte noon is dapat may input yung legislature and maraming experts. Bakit po? Kasi if you will look at our initial interpretation ng Treaty of Paris, everything inside those lines, territory natin. Pero when we confronted the US, or at least discussed, not necessarily confronted, about kung yung Section 5 ng Mutual Defense Treaty ay matri-trigger kapag may mga nangyayari sa loob ng lines na yon, ang sabi ng US, lines lang daw yon ng Treaty of Paris, pero that doesn't mean daw na territory natin nasa loob. Kasi take note po, the US is pushing that we recognize, we uphold, we pursue the arbitral award. The US is pushing every other parties to respect UNCLOS, but the US is not a signatory sa UNCLOS. At ang stand ng US is that hindi natin territorial waters yon. Kasi kung hindi ako nagkakamali, of course, I cannot speak for the US, but basically what they're saying is freedom of navigation and freedom of yung paglalagay ng underground cables, etc. ang main interest ng US. Okay. So dumating naman itong mga batas tungkol sa baseline at pumirma tayo sa UNCLOS. Let me initially tell you, but may I be allowed to submit a position paper later on, just for the record. But initially, let me put on the record which of your answer I strongly agree with and where I have some concerns. I really admire the gentleman for pushing to strengthen our position, because in a ongoing dispute, even if you say that zero yung basis nung ka-dispute mo, may dispute. Diba? So I'm not using the word claim kasi some people will say, no, China has no claim. Walang basis ang dash line, etc. But when you say you have a dispute, it doesn't mean that merong kang legal leg to stand on. So for example, if I say now, I am disputing the pagiging minority leader ni Senator Coco, but I never stood up and asked for a vote. I do not have 1 or 2 more votes. So it would be fair for Senator Coco to say that there's no claim from Senator Cayetano because he doesn't have a vote. He didn't ask for a vote. He didn't even ask the session, di ba? He could also say, I mean, it would be grammatically correct also, or it would be correct to say there's no dispute, it's only in his mind, di ba? But if I go around the senators, if I go around the media and saying, no, and then I suddenly stand up, talo pa rin ako, let's say 2-1, or 2-all, and then the Senate President says na siya pa rin, I mean, we will not, hindi natin po sisisihin ng dyaryo kung sasabihin ng dyaryo may dispute. Pero it would be okay for Senator Pimentel, our minority leader, to write the paper to say na walang legal basis si Alan, na-decide na yan, let's respect the rule of the majority, let's respect, di ba? So my point is, if you look, there are more, what's the right word, not islands, there are more features in our EEZ that are held and even militarized by Vietnam and Malaysia than China. So actually, this is a multi-country, not a bilateral, but a multilateral dispute. So let me just say that anything that strengthens our position is most welcome because mahaba to at mabigat tong mga kailangan nating harapin. No? Okay. Now, regarding where I do not disagree at this point, Your Honor, but I have some concerns. Kasi po dun sa Treaty of Paris, ang ating stand nung araw completely territory natin yan. Pero dun kasi sa UNCLOS, depende sa area, no? Of course, if it's outside the lines already, EEZ, pabor din sa atin yun. Kasi dati parang outside the lines, quiet lahat dahil medyo bago pa naman yung relatively new compared to empires of the 15th century, for example, ang law of the seas, no? But may konting concern na kung from territory, magiging may rights na lang tayo, whether economic or... Kasi sovereign rights and sovereignty are two different things. Diba? Sovereignty, territory mo yon. sovereign rights, meaning may karapatan ka lang, pero may karapatan din yung mga ibang bansa. And I'll give you an example, Mr. President. No? I was asked, I'm not at liberty because I didn't ask him if I can disclose his name. But in one of the conferences for UNCLOS in Singapore, I had a side meeting with one of an expert, no, he's American Singaporean, and he asked me, sino ba nanalo ng award? Of course, I was quiet because parang trick question, parang alam naman natin lahat, Pilipinas ang nanalo, no? Pero, so I quietly said, the Philippines won. And he said, well, you won a lot of points, but in Scarborough, you used to arrest Vietnamese and Chinese fishermen. But now, in the award, they're saying that it is a traditional fishing ground of all three, Chinese, Vietnamese, and Filipinos. So you cannot arrest them anymore.
Ngayon, ikaw, bilang Pilipino, ano ang masasabi mo at reaksyon sa balitang ito? Mag-iwan ka ng komento sa ibaba at atin pong babasahin isa-isa.